Have you ever wondered how it feels to become an expert in a skill you love? I remember a time when I was just a regular eighth grader, full of curiosity, but also full of doubts. I would watch my older friends and admire how they could pick up new challenges so easily, and I wished I could do the same. One day, while I was struggling with my math homework, I stumbled upon a simple idea that changed everything. That day, I discovered the TED method, and it sparked a change in me. I realized that becoming a master at anything wasn't about having a special talent. It was about believing in myself and taking action every single day. The first lesson I learned on my journey was the importance of belief. I learned that if I did not believe I could learn a new skill, no amount of studying or practice would ever help me improve. At first, I was filled with doubt and fear. I thought, how can I ever be good at something when I keep making mistakes? But then I understood that every mistake was just a step closer to success. My confidence grew when I started to see that my errors were not failures, but opportunities to learn. I began to see that with belief and hard work, I could achieve anything I set my mind to. This is where the TED method came into play. The TED method is my simple formula for learning and becoming an expert. It has three parts: trial, error, and document. I follow this method every day, and it has completely transformed the way I approach new challenges. Let me explain the first part: trial. Trial is all about diving into new information and experiences. When I want to learn a new skill, I start by gathering as much knowledge as I can. I read books, watch videos, and take online courses that teach me what I need to know. I make sure to listen carefully and take good notes. My notes are like a cheat sheet that I can always refer back to whenever I need a reminder. By doing this, I make sure that I am absorbing quality information instead of just trying to remember everything at once. Once I have learned the basics, I move on to the next step: error. Error is about putting what I have learned into practice immediately. I remember the first time I tried to play the guitar. I had read all the guides and watched all the tutorials, but when I picked up the guitar, my fingers felt clumsy and I played a few wrong chords. Instead of feeling bad, I used that experience to understand where I needed to improve. I realized that making mistakes was a natural part of the process. I learned to embrace my error phase because it taught me exactly what I needed to work on. Whether it was speaking a new language, drawing a picture, or solving a tough math problem, I knew that every mistake brought me one step closer to becoming an expert. The final part of the TED method is document. Document means that I take time to write down everything I learned from my error experiences. I keep a journal where I record the challenges I faced and the mistakes I made. By writing these down, I can review them later and see how far I have come. It also helps me remember the solutions that worked and the strategies that need more work. I call my journal my improvement guide because it is full of insights that guide me every day. Documenting my progress has been one of the most important parts of my journey because it turns my experiences into lessons I can always refer back to. Using the TED method has not been an overnight success. There were many days when I felt discouraged or frustrated because I wasn't improving as fast as I wanted, but I kept going because I knew that every day was an opportunity to get better. I made it a point to apply the TED method to every new skill I tried to learn. Whether I was trying to improve my drawing, become better at sports, or even learn a new computer program, I stuck to the cycle of trial, error, and document. Over time, I started noticing small improvements that added up to big changes. My confidence grew, and I began to truly believe in my ability to become an expert. I also learned that the key to success is not just in the method itself, but in the consistency of using it. It is not enough to try the TED method once in a while. I needed to use it every single day. I made a promise to myself to never let a day go by without learning something new or practicing what I had already learned. I set aside time each day for my learning sessions, followed by a period of practice where I embraced my error phase, and then I took time to document what I experienced. This daily routine became the foundation of my progress, and it has helped me achieve things I once thought were impossible. One of the biggest challenges I faced was the temptation to procrastinate. There were days when I would sit down with a new book or an online course, only to get distracted by other things. I quickly learned that the true power of the TED method lies in acting immediately. If I learned something new and didn't practice it within 24 hours, the lesson would fade away. That is why I made it a rule to always put my knowledge into practice as soon as possible. This immediate action helped me lock in the new information and made my learning process much more effective. Another important lesson from my journey was that it's okay to feel like you're not good enough at first. I used to worry that if I made too many mistakes, it meant that I would never be able to become an expert. But the TED method taught me that every error is simply a step on the path to mastery. I learned to be patient with myself and to celebrate even the smallest victories. Every time I saw a little improvement, no matter how minor, it motivated me to keep going. I realized that becoming a master at any skill is a journey filled with ups and downs, and that each setback is just an opportunity to learn and grow. The TED method has not only helped me learn new skills, but also boosted my overall confidence. Now, whenever I face a challenge, I know what to do. I trial by gathering all the information I can, then I enter the error phase by practicing and making mistakes, and finally, I document every lesson. This cycle keeps me motivated and reminds me that I am on the path to becoming an expert. With dedication, anyone can master a skill. Every day, I commit to the TED method, confident that I'm growing into an expert,